Okay, so if you're gonna ride a bike, you need to know how to patch a flat. To be able to patch your flat, these are the tools you need. You need a wrench, either a crescent, a adjustable wrench, or 15mm wrench for most bikes. Unless you have a quick release, then you don't need a wrench. Tire levers. They look like this. They come in many colors. You want plastic, not metal. 2 of them. You have to have 2 of them. A patch kit. This comes with a piece of sandpaper, the actual patches, and a tiny tube of glue. You can also just buy rubber cement. I have extra rubber cement because I use these all up. Also, you'll need a pump. I recommend a full-size, legit pump. You should also have a travel pump though if you're going on long trips to carry with you in case you have a flat. But this is good for if you can get home. Optional recommended, a rag from an old sock or a piece of shirt. And that's everything you need. I also recommend having, if you can't fix it, like if you have a valve problem, you want to have a spare tube. It's always good to have a spare tube in the right size for your bike. And that should be everything. And now we're ready to patch our flat tire. So when I like to fix my bike, I turn it upside down. The first step when repairing a flat is to remove the tire. So we have to remove this bolt here. You're either going to have a quick release or a bolt. You can use a crescent wrench which adjusts, or it's usually a 15mm wrench, with some exceptions. Lefty-loosey means counterclockwise for everything, with exceptions. Non-adjustable wrench works a lot better. I don't have it. I have issues. This is unusual. Okay, so I got some vegetable oil and a paintbrush, and I'm putting some oil on the bolt because it's corroded. You're gonna rarely have to do this. That's just what's happening to me right now. And then I'm gonna wipe off the excess oil. I always keep rags around. This is an old sock that I cut down the middle. Pieces of old t-shirts work well too. Now we're going to have another moment of truth to see if that helped. I'm still struggling. So the bowl never came off. I'm gonna try it a totally different way, which I never do and I wouldn't recommend, which is to repair it while it's on the frame. Next you need to remove the tire from the rim. Rim, tire. Okay, so you take your tire levers, they look like this, any color, and you scoop out like this, and then you can use this part to hook it onto the spokes. Then you can use your other one, scoop it around. Now your tire is not on your rim, just like you want. Then I'm gonna do the same thing to the tire on the other side. Unhook this. Scoopy, scoopy. Good, that's all the way off then. And now I'm gonna go ahead and take the cap off of the valve. Looks like that in on a Schrader. This is the more common type Schrader. Now I'm gonna pull the tire and tube off of the rim like this. Now it's fully separated and I can look at the tube. Next we take our pump and we attach it to the valve. Anyways, we use the Schrader side. Then you lift the tab, you attach it, and then you lift the tab out so it's going out. Then you pump it up. Then you listen for where the leak is. I hear it. It's gonna be hard with it all attached though. I hear something by the valve. If we have a valve problem, then we're really screwed because we can't fix that. Okay, now I've pulled the tube out of the tire. I hear it. Now once I hear it, I want to put my hand around and feel for the air to get even closer. Now I feel the air here. I can hear it and I can feel the air coming out. And I also can see it. There's the hole. I usually mark it with a pen. With a big X. Sorry, I need a new camera. I want to shout out to Neighborhood Bike Works where I learned all this. I taught myself there. Then I want to feel inside of the tire to see if the thing that caused the problem is still there, because it's really sad when you patch your tire and then you get a new flat immediately. So I do see the problem in the tire too. But I don't think there's any object lodged in there that I can see. I don't think there's anything poking, even though there's a giant hole. Okay, so now I know where the hole is, and I can move on to the next step, which is patching the hole. Okay, the first step is to take the sandpaper that came in your patch flat kit and rough up the area where your hole is. This gives the patch something to stick to. It also cleans it up. Next you take your rubber cement that came with your patch kit and maybe rub it all around. Empty because you've used it too much. But it doesn't matter, I have extra rubber cement for collaging. It's got too much cat fur on it, but that's okay. Okay, so I got this glob. I'm gonna spread that out. I kinda lost sight of my X. I think I can see it. Oh geez. This is my patch. You peel it off of the metal part. Oh good, I have a nice bubble to remind me where my hole is. Now I press down really carefully all the way around, and I make sure that it looks really sealed. I find that taking it off is a good test of if I usually take it off if it's really stuck on there. And then I can go work around my edges make sure it's really good. It's really, really good. And I usually go back and kind of touch it up and add glue because I really don't want this to fail. These parts I can see aren't quite sticking as well. Okay, so now we have a good patch job. So what we want to do is put the tube back into the tire. This is the tube and this is the tire. Do that going all the way around. Next I'm gonna put the valve in through the valve hole and make sure that it stays lined up and coming out straight versus at an angle. That could cause you problems. Then you want to put the tube back inside the rim. You can use your fingers or you can use your tire lever. I guess I like to use my fingers. Then at the end you probably want a tire lever at least at the end. I'm holding this end still. And I'm going to use the tire lever to scoop the tire back in. Oh, there we go. Now I haven't fully inflated the tire. That was to make it easier to put back together, but it's not all in the frame now. And the tire is on the rim. So I'm ready to inflate it. So I use the Schrader side. I flip the tab and I pump it up. Pump it up. You have a gauge. Most tires are supposed to be filled to about 60. I prefer to just pinch the tire, and if it feels like any really resistance at all, then I want to keep putting air into it until it doesn't feel like it compresses at all when I pinch it. That's a pretty good way to know when your tire's full. Okay, last step, all we gotta do is put the cap back on.